Aspirants, welcome to Achievers Academy. With a positive note today that your limitation is only your imagination, we start our session that what is anti-defection law and how we will proceed in this session. First of all, we will understand that what is the need of anti-defection law, what are the different rulings of Supreme Court in this, what are the disqualifications grounds for this anti-defection law, what are the limitations for anti-defection law, and what reforms can be taken for the anti-defection law. It is a burning topic of current affairs, as we have seen in Madhya Pradesh, we have seen in Karnataka, and presently as we are looking into the matter of Manipur also. So anti-defection law, is it time for reconsideration? Really, it is the time for reconsideration. And now we start our session. The instant is that Ayaram Gayaram was a phrase that became popular in Indian politics after Haryana MLA Gayalal changed his party thrice within the same year. It was in 1967. The anti-defection law sought to prevent such political defections which may be due to rewards of office or other similar consideration. So this was the need that why anti-defection law has been created in 1967. And what is anti-defection law? The 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, which talks about the anti-defection law, is designed to prevent political defections prompted by the lure of office or material benefits or other like consideration. The anti-defection law was passed by Parliament in 1985 and reinforced in 2002. The 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, popularly referred to as the anti-defection law, was inserted by the 52nd Amendment in 1985 to the Constitution, and it was defection has been defined as to abandon a position or association, often to join an opposition group. The anti-defection law was enacted to ensure that a party member does not violate the mandate of the party, and in case he does so, he will lose his membership in the House. The law applies to both Parliament and State Assembly. It means whether it is MP or MLA. The anti-defection law aims to prevent MPs from switching political party or for any personal motive. And grounds for disqualifications are if an elected member gives up his membership of a political party voluntarily, then it is a ground for disqualification of that member. If he votes for abstaining from voting in the House contrary to any direction issued by his political party, if any member who is independently elected joins any other party, this is also a ground for disqualification. And if any nominative member joins any political party after the end of 6 months, the decision on disqualification question on the ground of defection is referred to the Speaker of the Chairman of the House. It is very important, and her decision is final. So please see that whose decision is final, and it is the Speaker of or the Chairman of the House. All the proceedings in relation to the disqualification under this schedule are considered to be the proceedings in the Parliament or the legislature of a state, as in the case. And what are the exceptions under anti-defection laws are in the situation where two-third party of the legislature of a political party decide to merge into another party. Neither the member who decide to join nor the ones who stay within the original party will face disqualification. And the next is any person elected as the chairman or speaker can resign from his party and rejoin the party if he demits that post. Earlier the law was allowed parties to be split, but at present this has been outlawed. Who is the deciding authority for this? Any question regarding to disqualification arising out of the defection is to be decided by the presiding officer of the House. There is a time limit within which the presiding officer should decide. There is no time limit as per as the law. Is there any time limit? So the answer is that there is no time limit as per the law within which the presiding officer should decide on a plea of disqualification. The court also can intervene only after the officer has made decision. It means before the decision could be made, the court cannot intervene into the matter. So after the decision has taken by the speaker or the presiding officer, the court can intervene only after the officer has made the decision. So the only option for the petitioner is to wait until the decision is made. And now the role of election commission. The election commission make the president, governor, the decision maker with respect to disqualification subject to binding advice from the election commission on the lines of disqualification based on the representation of people's act provision regarding the office of profit. So the role of election commission is also important in this law. And now the question comes, does anti-defection law curtail the right of freedom of speech of legislature? So the answer is, this issue was addressed by the 5-judge constituent bench of the Supreme Court in 1992, and the matter was between Quixote Holohan versus Zahil Chihu and others. It held that the law does not violate any rights or freedom or the basic structure of parliamentary democracy. So this is the court rulings regarding the freedom of legislature, freedom of speech of legislator. And what are the possible reforms that can be made? Why it is needed to reconsider this anti-defection law? And the answer is, nowadays no real democratic discussion happen inside the political parties about the major issues affecting the country. Individual MPs, MLAs need to be empowered to think independently. And the second is, anti-defection law should be applied only to confidence and no confidence motion, as it is given in the Dinesh Goswami Committee of Electoral Reform in 1990, or only when the government is in danger, that is given in the Law Commission 170th report 1999. The rationale that a representative is elected on the basis of party program can be extended to pre-poll alliances. Instead of making a speaker the authority for disqualification, the decision should be made by the president or the governor on the advice of election commission. This would make the process similar to the disqualification process as given in the Representation of People's Act RPA. There can be conditional penalties for defectors as well. Aspirants, I am pretty sure that these videos are very much helpful for your upcoming competitive exams, and if you want to have some other topics in current affairs, do write in the description box and give your feedback in the comment section. And if you like these videos, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching this video.